What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. This story is called Entitled Mother Defends Stalker Son. You all know the cast. Entitled Mother, Stalker Son, Little Sister, me. Now, normally I'm quite a chilled and laid back kind of guy. However, you screw with my little sister and you'll regret it, as this little crap found out today. I picked up my sister from college today. I pulled up and parked my car in an empty bay near the campus entrance and waited for my sister's lecture to finish. After about 20 minutes, she comes out and walks towards my car and gets in the passenger seat. Hey, how was your day? Crap, come on, you're buying McDonald's. Say please, and I might just do that. It's at this point my sister's phone beeps with a text message. She looks at it and immediately a look of anger flashes across her face. What's up? This guy has been harassing me all week. I keep blocking him and he just keeps creating new accounts. He was nice at first, but now he's just weird. He keeps sending me pictures of his privates and now he's threatening me unless I date him and I don't know what to do. She begins to get upset. I reach forward and take her phone and read the message that he had sent. It instantly made my blood boil. Is he still on campus? He probably went to the field at the end of the road to smoke with his friends. He's always there. I put the car into reverse and pull out of the parking bay and head towards the exit. Let me handle this. Don't, it's not worth it. Relax, I'm just gonna talk to him. Besides, what do you think I'm gonna do to him? You really want me to answer that? Hey, wait, that's them there. She points towards 3 guys sitting on a wall smoking. He's the one on the left. I pull up in front of the wall and I reach forward and push the button that flashes the blue lights at the front of the car. I jump out of the car and immediately the other 2 guys get up and leg it down the road. The guy starts to get up, but I block his path. I show my ID and badge and make him sit back down on the wall. Excuse me, mate. Police. May I have a word? What do you want? Do you know someone called Little Sister? Yeah, she's like really freaking fit and I'm gonna top her ass one day. I struggle to contain my anger and I have to fight the urge to punch this guy in his smug face. Can I see your ID? I point to the college ID around his neck. He begrudgingly handed it over. Well, Mr. Stalker Son, I want you to stay away from my sister. You're going to delete her number and remove her from every social media platform you have. You're going to avoid her at college, and if I find out that you've so much as looked at her, I'm going to make it my personal mission to make sure your life is hell. It's at this point we hear the screech of an entitled parent. What's going on here? Police business, ma'am. I show my ID again and flash a smile. Everything is fine. What's my son done now? Screw off, Mom. Well, I can tell you that your son has done some serious things. He's been stalking and harassing a girl in his class. He has been sending threatening and inappropriate text messages and pictures. I was just advising your son that if he continues in this way, he will be facing criminal charges under the Malicious Communications Act. What does that mean? This girl will be raising a complaint with the college regarding your son. Should he continue to message this girl, he'll be committing a crime and be in violation of lawful orders given by a police officer. So unless you want to see your son dragged off in handcuffs, I suggest you get it together and sort this out. I'm sure you'll also be receiving notification from the college as well once they've concluded any investigation they wish to mount. I'm sorry, officer, but there's no need to do this. It's just teenagers mucking about. The girl is obviously playing hard to get. She probably wants to be with my son. I think it would be in her best interest to just drop this silly act and just get with my son. He's a lovely boy who would never do such a thing like that. Lovely boy? I suggest you read what he sent to this girl. Then tell me if you agree. I'm sure it's just teenage banter. Whatever happens, we'll deal with it via the college. Now then, we're leaving. Frickin' pigs! He sticks his middle finger up at me as he gets into his mom's car. I sigh and kick the wall in frustration, and I picture shooting the little cum stain in the balls with a taser. I smile and get back in the car. You didn't have to do that. No, I wanted to. Just let me know if he messages you again, and I'll contact the college first thing tomorrow. I'll also talk to Dad as well, and we'll work something out. I promise that butthole won't be bothering you anymore. Thank you. Now, what about the McDonald's? Let's go. That's the end, guys. I'll update once the college gets back to me. How are parents that oblivious? Like, what? And also, that poor girl. It's sad how many freaking girls have to deal with similar things. A majority of the girls that I've talked to enough end up telling me that they've dealt with similar people, and that's sad. It's not good. This story's called Entitled Mom Calls Me and Grandmother Racial Slur After We Gave Her Brat a Dinosaur Toy to Shut Him Up. So this story happened when I was 3 or 4, and most of the memories are really fuzzy, so I had to ask my mama, my grandma, about some of the details. Now for the story. It was my little brother's birthday, and my stepdad, but aka my real dad, was coming in from his job in Virginia, so he, my mom, and my little brother were going to spend the day together, which is like our family tradition, so I would go and spend the day and night at my grandparents' house. I was excited to hang out with my grandparents. My mama picked me up around 10 o'clock, and we had fun just chilling at the house for a bit. But at 12 o'clock, we went to the store to pick up a few lunch items, and so I could get my brother a birthday present. Now, this was like a tradition for us, showing up with Mama for lunch at Kroger, and it's still something we do now. We walked around and I told her about my pet snake, which she was so scared of but acted like she wasn't, and told her about the cool gift I helped my mom pick out for my brother. As we turned a corner, I saw these really cool dinosaur toys. You have probably seen them before. There was one left and I asked my mama if I could get that for my brother. She said yes and picked it up. Now, nothing bad happened until we got to the checkout. Now, it was ungodly busy that day, and we're about 7 people behind the cashier, but we just talked about anything my brain could come up with. Note, I was very advanced for my age, and most people thought I was 5 or 6 just because of my vocabulary. This will come into play. So suddenly, the very overweight woman comes up behind me. I will call her Susan, and her shrieking son, who is probably my age. My mama sighed. She had really bad social anxiety back then. For some reason, screaming kids would trigger it, but she decided to distract herself by asking me if I was excited for my brother's birthday. As we were talking, my mama heard from behind her, "Mommy, dinosaurs!" He started kicking and screaming even more, seeing the dinosaur which I was still holding. Susan looked over to my mama and asked, "Hey, where did you find that?" My mama, being a Southern belle, answered politely and said, "Oh, near the cookie aisle, but I do think we got the last one there." "Well, I'm not gonna look all over the damn store to find a dinosaur. Could he have hers?" My mama was in pure shock for a minute and replied, I'm sorry, but no, this is for my grandson." Susan got all red and said, "Well, I'm sure you could find another one. Behind you, you don't have a screaming 2-year-old with you. It would make him feel so much better if he had a dinosaur." My mama, who's getting a little irritated but didn't want to say anything inappropriate in front of both me and the screaming toddler, "Well, she's 3. I really don't think she would understand why I'm taking it from her." This is another important thing to note for the following part. My grandmother is half Cherokee. She has very dark skin, brown eyes, and extremely curly hair, and big lips to the point when she was a little girl in the 60s, she was bullied and called horrible racial slurs, and her mom was often shamed thinking that she had an affair with a black man, especially since the man she was married to was a white Irishman. At the time, I was also pretty tan and had green eyes, though my hair was straight as a stick and had big lips as well. Please note this. Susan stopped pestering us for a little bit, and we moved closer to the cashier. The child started screaming more and more, yelling about how he wants a dinosaur. Now, I really didn't want him screaming anymore, and I could see how stressed my mama was. Now, I don't remember this part. I was told this by my grandmother. I apparently told her to give him the dinosaur, or we could just pick up another one at the toy store or something. My mama was shocked and low-key proud, so she did, and I got him to shut up for a minute. And I swear to God, she did this out of pure spite. She took the toy and said, "Don't put that in your mouth, that halfling was playing with it. I'm gonna have to disinfect this thing when we get home." My mama was pissed, so were the people behind Susan. One even actually said something to her, but my mama couldn't remember what she said. My grandmother quickly got us out of there once we paid, and after about 3 seconds of us being in the car, she called my grandfather, and for some reason, I remember this clear as day because it was the only time I ever heard her cuss in my entire life. Insert grandpa's name. "You're not gonna believe what some woman said. She called me in." Insert my real name. "Halflings, that racist bench, she had the nerve to say that in front of her own child." My grandpa, being the moderator of the family, calmed her down. I told her to meet at their favorite restaurant with me, Arby's, and she ranted to him about everything. Luckily, we did manage to go out again that day to Toys R Us. I got my brother a whole pack of dinosaurs. I don't think I ever saw this woman again. To be honest, I can't remember what she looked like, but thanks for reading. Okay, guys, please don't use speech to text when making stories. But wow, I can't believe someone would say that in public. Then again, this took place in the South. This story's called Brazilian Father Throws Trash on My Mother's Car and Keys It for a Parking Spot That He Did Not Even Own. Disclaimer, this happened to my mother yesterday while I was half a state away, so this is what she told me. My mom left our home Sunday for an appointment with a cancer research doctor to decide her treatment. She was not in the best state of mind as she was leaving. She was worried that she would be the next one in the long line in the family to get cancer and planned to stay with her mother during her stay. After driving 2.5 hours to my childhood town, she found that my grandmother's parking spot was taken. This is not unusual as my grandmother does not have a car and lets her neighbors use her spots and she cannot, though sadly she forgot to tell her neighbor to move their car when my mother was coming down. My mother decided that it being late and all that she will ask them to move it in the morning and instead took one of the free parking spaces for guests. In the morning, she knocked on the neighbor's door and asked them to move their car so that she may park in the space. As they went downstairs, my mother was met with a horror that the car she worked so hard for covered in trash like someone just threw it on top of it. She was peed off, I guess, but she took the trash and put it in the dumpster. When she returned to the car, there was a note underneath the car. She could not read the note since it was in Brazilian, so she just stuffed it into her coat and went to move the car. I don't think Brazilian is much. It was then that she noticed the keying. It was deep and on both sides. She told me that she started crying at this point and called the police to report it. When the officer arrived, he translated the note and it said something to the effect of, "This parking space is mine. Do not park here again." The officer told my mom that the note does not provide to who it was and it would be hard pressed to make a claim with just a note since it was not signed to who it was from. The woman my mom came down with suggested that they could go through the trash that was piled on top of the note for maybe a clue as to who it was. While the officer protested going into the dumpster due to sanitary reasons, my mom could not care less and jumped into it, pulling out the trash that she just put in there. She then proceeded to go through the trash like a crazed trash panda until she hit the mother lode and found bank statements of the man. It provided his name and address, though the police officer said that the trash could not be used to file a report against the man, but did offer that she could attempt to record the man, and if she can get it on video of him admitting to writing the note, then she's got him, provided she does it the right way since Massachusetts is a two-party consent state. Now, my mom is on a mission. She staked out the window with the next-door neighbor waiting for the man. After a few hours, the neighbor pulled up to the house with his 2 children in tow. As soon as the neighbor pointed them out, she ran down the stairs, recording as soon as she exited the door. When they were talking, the man barely spoke English and mostly used Google Translate to talk, so his voice was translated. Their conversation goes as follows. "Were you the one who wrote the note and put it on my car? Are you recording?" "Yes, I am. Did you put the note on my car?" He tried speaking in his native tongue, but my mother did not understand him, so he opened up Google Translate at this point.
"I wrote the note, that is my parking space. Do not park there again. It was hard to find a new parking spot with 2 wailing children in my truck. You should be more considerate to parents. And I did not put trash on your car, and your car is fine."
My mother stopped recording at this point, having all that she needed, and returned to the apartment to call the police back to the place. She turned over the evidence, and since she was so good with the detective work, what the police officer said, that she will not have to pay for the damages and that it will be paid solely by that man. My mom is currently pressing charges and preparing to take the man to court if he does not settle and pay the damages to her car. Sorry about any bad formatting, this is my first post in the subreddit. I'm also afraid that this is not entitled parent enough for the sub. It is entitled, but I don't know so much for the parent part. Update. Just got off the phone with my dear old mum. Apparently she has taken him to small claims court, pay $500 for repairs, and take out a rental car so she can still go to her doctors and such. All of these expenses over some asshat keying the car. I hope we are able to handle the costs. Man, is life great. Well, that guy's a scumbag. I don't understand how he thought that was a good idea. Also, I hope the mom ends up being okay. Cancer's not a fun thing to deal with. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.